back to RestoMod. Today we're on a field trip, and this is the quarry. It's an 85 Camaro, and we're going to try and get some brake parts off it, hopefully. Yep, 85 Camaro right there. So we'll see what we can get off this. Okay, the 85 Camaro did not work out. The braking, the brake lines didn't look good. So I'm over here at a 92 Lumina. It has the same. The Camaro had a center brake. This has the pump cassette, whatever, the one that I need. So the cable goes down. I'm going to take that off and then get the connectors underneath, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, I got the parking brake cable out. Like I said, it's out of a Chevy Lumina 92, 98 or something like that, but let's see if it will work. I don't know. Wait till we get back to the garage. Alright, we're back at the garage. And so let's check out the spoils. I did not pick this up there, I already had this. But I went ahead and I was able to pull off the brake release. It just screws on and off. And then I picked up a rubber boot for the pedal. So, I mean, it's $2, couple bucks. And, you know, online I think they're going for like 12 bucks each, so. When they're, I also picked up a throttle cable. I was thinking, I saw a 02 Suburban. I was like, oh, okay, I got a 03 Yukon, so 5.3, so I just grabbed the throttle cable. Well, I grabbed the throttle cable, but it's a little bit long. Basically, I need a cable to link right there. I need to make a bracket. Have it come over and around, link up to this bracket, and then go across. This thing, it wraps around and all sorts of things. So, I mean, it actually could work, but it's not ideal. What I really went to the junkyard for was this right here. This is the emergency brake, or parking brake, whatever you want to call it. Parking brake cable, and I got to make that work. Also picked up some brackets. I looked at them, they looked interesting, and I went and got them. And I cleaned them off with my favorite cleaner, oven cleaner. It takes the grease right off and some paint. Anyways, we're not going to worry about this right now. This is for a later project. I was just thinking ahead and trying to, you know, stay ahead of the game. But that's what we got, so let me show you what I plan to do with this cable. Okay, for the cable, which I've already checked, it does fit the parking brake. The cable is too short, but it fits the hole, and that clip works fine, but it is too short on the other end. Here are the rear cables, which came with the brakes that I got from the junkyard. They'll work fine. Clips right in. And it even came with little brackets. I gotta find where I'm gonna hook those up, but I don't know. But this comes up to a point where you're gonna have two cables come into a joint where they're connected, and then one cable coming over and pulling on it. Well, I'll show you in a minute. Here's my my idea about the brake system, because I'm piecing this together from old, new, and, you know, scraps basically. But some stuff that's doing today will help out. But right now I don't have like 2 or 3 key components, but we're going to go ahead and move on because I can get everything ready to go. But my idea is to connect the front part of the brake, parking brake, to a universal cable connector. This is represented by threads, it'll go in here and be able to adjust it. So this will be the adjusting part for the parking brake. And then I got these two pieces coming in that will connect right here, and it will connect to a bracket that I am going to have to make to hold the rear brake cables. And they're going to be held in from kind of like one of those stockade looking things. It'll clamp down on the brake cables and hold them in place. And I am going to drill 2 holes in the floor of the Camaro in the, I guess you call it transmission hump or whatever, to secure this down. But I got some 3/8 inch metal that I'm gonna make a bracket with, so it should work out. All right, for the parking brake cable that comes down from the brake itself, it'll come out of the firewall and then come down, and then it'll snake into the subframe, go through, and then come out right there. And there's a spot where the connector actually hooks up, and then you have the rest of the line. All right, just hooked up the rear brakes. It was just the rear emergency brakes or parking brake. Just slips over the little latch, and then it came with that bracket, so it connects it right there. All right, there's the brake line going out, and what I did is I just combined both brake lines into one with one of the brackets, so they're both going through there, and they're gonna come along the tunnel. And then at this point, I already drilled 2 holes, and I need to make a bracket, and it is concaved a little bit, so I'll have to do some banging with the big hammer. But I'm gonna make it so that the brake lines hook up to that, and I won't have any issues. And it'll be secure because it's actually bolted to the floor, and the bolts actually start out underneath the back seat, so I'm not worried about that. But it'll all work out. Now on the front, what I got is there's the brake line. There's actually the connection right there. Brake line comes over, and it's actually supposed to hook up to a cable right here and then go back, and I'm actually going to do that, but I'm going to make it with an old cable I have, and it'll connect to the universal brake cable bracket, whatever, and it'll be adjustable at that point. But then the cable is going to go back all the way back and hook up to the rear cables right here. So I need to do that. Here's that bracket I was telling you about. I went ahead and painted it and clear coated it so it doesn't rust and everything, but it's nice strong metal. Yeah, it looks kind of looks like an L. Anyways, at least the face of an L. That's the 2 holes where the bracket goes. I put a V in there because I thought when I'm going to make it concave, I need to pull them in, but it didn't work out. So it doesn't, it's not going to weaken the structure of the whole thing. But again, this is how it's going to attach. There's the 2 holes, and it'll work out. All right, everything's hooked up, sort of. There's the bracket in place. Like I said, it's going to bolt to the floor, and there's where the 2 rear brake lines connect, and they connected pretty good. And I used a 1/2 inch drill, and I had these little tabs. You got to pull them out so everything locks in. But for this, just connecting I just stuck them through on either side, and then just put the nuts back on, and it holds it in place. worked out pretty good. You know, it's like a $3 part from your Ace Hardware or something like that. And then the cable goes along. Gotta move. Yeah, the cable goes along, and I was going to loop it, but it was too short. So I cut it, and I connected it right here, these two connectors. And I put the sleeve on there to keep it together. So just aluminum sleeve. And it goes down, and it connects to the, it's just like a universal brake cable connector. I don't know. And I can adjust it right there with those two, the two nuts right there. But the other side's just got those two connectors with the plumbing section. Or no, it was electrical section, and just got these two connectors, and it holds the cable down pretty well. I haven't tested it out yet, but I'm about to do that. And all I'm doing right now is just checking the functionality of it. Back here is where the brake line comes in. Then it connects where my thumb is. That works out pretty good to me. Okay, underneath, when I push the brake, no, I didn't have a camera down here, so, but everything looks intact, so it didn't come apart. I'll have to adjust it later. This coming weekend, I gotta get my buddy out here, and we're gonna pump the brakes, and then we'll fiddle with it, make it nice and taut, as it were. But since we're down here, and the next thing I'm going to do is the drive shaft. Okay, what you're looking at is the drive shaft. It's going to line up right there. And it doesn't interfere with the cable, and the cable doesn't interfere with it. And it lines up right there. This is the original 69 Camaro drive shaft. So with the LS engine, the 5.3 and the 4L60E, I can still use the same drive shaft. Drive shaft. So that's awesome. All right, if you don't know me by now, I try to paint everything. So I am not leaving this black. I'm going to go ahead and paint this silver to match the transmission. And also this part. I forgot the name of it. I'll look it up later. But let's get started on that. Wow, that came out pretty good. Nicely done. That looks awesome. So let's install it. I'm going to use Spicer universal joints. I got it from O'Reilly's. Just your standard universal joint, I guess. But it should work out really well. Hey, real quick, if you don't know, these are the, I'm going to call them springs, retainer springs, retainer clips. And what they do is they hold in the caps. They'll hold in the cap at the end. So you have to get it in there after you put the universal joint in. You got to bend it in. It'll be a little tricky, but it'll work. Each one has four. Each one has four, obviously. But let's go ahead and put it in. And also put the grease fitting on first, then install it. And make it easier. Okay, I already did one. Figured out, you just use your vise. If you don't have a vise, you're going to have to use a hammer or something. But when you slide these in, there's a lip on the inside. See if you can see it right there. See that lip on the inside? right there. You gotta get the cap past that so you can put the retainer clip in. So, all right, watch me go ahead and do the other ones, and I'm gonna use my vise to install. All right, there you have it. Wasn't pretty, but it worked out. Had a hiccup there. I pushed one through and the needle bearings fell, so I had to pull it out, reset them, and put it back in. So it doesn't matter what you do, how you screw up, it's how you handle it, I guess. That's what my drill sergeant used to say. Anyways, let's do the other side and install. Okay, these are the universal U-joint repair kit. I don't know, whatever, it's generic. Anyways, they're going to fit over the caps of the U-joints, and then it'll go through a part of the yoke. I guess it's called the yoke. And then we'll screw it on. I'll show you when we get down there. Okay, see those two holes? That's where the U-joint or U-bolt is going to slide right in, and then you're going to, on the other side, tighten them down with the nuts and washers, and then we'll be good to go. My pointy device. Right here, there's this little lip, so the cap of the U-joint is going to sit right in there, and that little lip will hold it in because the clamp is going to be pulling it down, and that lip won't let it go. So that's why you don't use the those circular retaining clips on the back here for these. It's going to be held in that way. Anyways, let's get it done. Well, as you can see, the drive shaft didn't fit. So this end, it wasn't fitting because the U-joint was there. Without the U-joint, it would be able to fit, and it was really tight. So on the other end, I'm not even going to mess with. It has the weight on that side. So what's going to happen is the drive shaft's going to have to get cut. So I'm going to have them cut about an inch off and then weld it together. I'm going to have to find a shop that'll do that. So when I have more, I'll let you know. Okay, back from Oliver's drive shaft and gear. They went ahead and fixed the drive shaft, made it 1 inch shorter, hopefully. So we got to test fit this. All right, that's without the caps right now. It's just kind of resting right there, but it fits. Slid right in. As soon as I put the caps in, I'll move it back probably about another ½ inch, and then tighten it down. But like I said, I got to paint it first, so let me do that. All right, there it is, all cleaned up. Got it all painted. Came out great, as usual. It's just painting. You know, come on. I put more coats of the silver on, aluminum color, and clear coated it just to make it look shiny. But let's go ahead and install. All right, there it is, all finished installed. It looks pretty good. It's a little gap, but not too bad, and I don't think it's going to hurt. as you go down, those U-bolts, all you just tighten them down. It's 13 millimeter. I just tighten them. I tighten them down as as much as I could, and they have lock washers on them, so they're pretty good. But anyhow, that's it for this segment of Alien RestoMod. And if you have any comments, go ahead and leave it below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. See you next time on Alien RestoMod Garage.